What's going on, everyone? Happy Saturday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well and having a great weekend so far. It is time now for the Saturday edition of the Weather and Climate Update for Saturday, February 10th, 2024. If you're new to my channel, this is where we do the daily weather and climate update, talking about the weather forecast for the United States. And yes, sometimes we do go on to talking about weather around the world if there's an extreme event going on, and we talk about weather records, which that's the first thing we have to talk about today. If you like this type of content, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below, and remember to hit that share button. Alrighty, starting off today, Chicago has tied a 138-year-old weather record yesterday. Here's what it was. Chicago on Friday at O'Hare Airport tied a weather record of 56 degrees that was set back on February 9th of 1886. So yes, it's been 138 years since that has happened. Wow, that is very impressive. Taking a look at the latest satellite picture, you can see we're back into clouds across much of the country. If you're taking a look here across Texas, on up into the northeast, you can see clouds are really dominating the picture. You are finally seeing some clearing in portions of California, and if you look really closely, you can actually see the snow cover that is in the mountains. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Unfortunately, your clearing weather is not going to last for long. Coming into next weekend, you could see the threat of more storms and maybe another atmospheric river-like event. Let's take a look at the national radar picture. You can see here, there's a large area of rain from Texas right on through Arkansas, Tennessee, Virginia, Kentucky. Then we have showers through Pennsylvania, New York, and portions of Vermont with a boundary that's coming through. But this main area of precipitation is along the southern jet, which is really flexing its muscles. And that's going to be what turns into eventually a snow event, a winter storm event for the Northeast come Monday night into Tuesday. Taking a look here across Oklahoma, you can see there are some showers for you. You are actually going to see northern Texas and portions of western Oklahoma. You are actually going to see some snow as well, and we'll see that on the National Hazards Map. Take a look at this. Winter storm watches are now up for portions of Texas and Oklahoma. There's already winter storm warnings and advisories where several inches of snow are expected in this area. The rest of the country, for the time being, is quiet right now, but I do suspect from West Virginia on northeastward, winter storm watches will probably start going up tonight for the threat of snow. Before we get to that, we have to talk about threats for today. There is heavy rainfall that is ongoing right now across portions of Texas through Tennessee, Mississippi. With that, there will also be the threats of severe weather. First off, take a look at this. A general swath of 2 to 4 inches of rainfall is expected along these red and orange areas, and that is getting relatively impressive. That's an increase from the day before. Surrounding that, widespread 1 to 2 plus inches of rainfall is expected. And now you can see here precipitation amounts for the Northeast. They're starting to creep upward, and I think that's going to continue to be the case, especially across Connecticut, Massachusetts. I think as time goes on, we're going to see this map get even more impressive because the modeling has gotten more impressive with the coastal storm that is going to develop in this area. Taking a look at excessive rainfall, there is a slight risk of excessive rainfall from portions of Texas through Tennessee today, so be mindful of that. There could be a few minor flash flooding threats. Taking a look at the Storm Prediction Center, we got a lot to talk about here. There is a slight risk of severe weather across a large portion of Texas today. It actually includes 5.7 million people. The isolated threat of a tornado does exist. Wind and hail as well. And hail is the biggest threat. It's 15% hatched at this point. A marginal risk does extend into portions of Louisiana and Mississippi. Then tomorrow, the threat continues, and the tornado threat actually is a little bit higher than it is today. They included a 5% tornado area from extreme eastern Texas through central Louisiana into Mississippi and even western portions of Alabama. So that's something to be mindful of. And there is also a wind and hail threat as well. Should things get any more impressive, wouldn't surprise me if a hatched or enhanced risk area gets added for tomorrow. But right now they're going with slight risk, which I do agree with for the moment. Taking a look at day 3. Yes, yet another severe weather threat. This time it's for southeast Alabama, portions of the Florida Panhandle, portions of Georgia, and extreme southwest South Carolina, which, once again, there could be an isolated tornado, wind, and hail threat. Let's take a look at the latest HER model, and you will see here the showers, the rain that's ongoing along this boundary from the southern jet. It continues across Tennessee, and it's pretty much going to be a washout for you for most of the day today on Saturday, and that is going to continue into tonight. You can see here our thunderstorms. They really start to ramp up as we head into this evening across portions of Texas, and that is going to continue and eventually spread east as we head into tomorrow across portions of the Gulf Coast region. But watch what happens tomorrow morning. First thing in the morning, you can see here another cluster gets going from this area of low pressure. That's what provides your snow across portions of Texas, New Mexico, even some light snow in Kansas as well, and Oklahoma and southeast Colorado. And this storm's really going to ramp up, and you can see here you do get a QLCS-like event just ahead of this, quasi-linear convective system, squall line, and within that, any little hook that forms, that's where you could see an isolated tornado. And I should show you the instability. I will show you the instability. Check this out. For February standards, the instability actually gets fairly impressive tomorrow across the Gulf Coast region. Widespread 1,000 to even localized 2,000 Cape values. For this time of year, that's fairly impressive, and the dew points also get impressive ahead of this system as well. You can see they get well into the upper 60s to near 70s. So an isolated tornado, yeah, it's in the cards. And again, it would not surprise me if your slight risk gets upgraded to an enhanced risk for tomorrow. All right, going back to simulated radar here. You can see here, this system gets going. It develops more Gulf moisture, and you can see here, even as we head into first thing Monday morning, there's still an ongoing severe threat across portions of Alabama and portions of Georgia and the Florida Panhandle. That's going to continue in the Monday, and then we have to watch just where does this system track. If it stays a bit more south, things would get interesting for the Northeast. If it goes a little bit more north, well, then you're talking about more rain for cities like Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. That's where the wild card still exists. North and west of there, this is going to be a fairly decent size snowstorm for you. Let's take a look at the latest 12Z GFS model. And you can see here comes the storm system. You can see it starts tracking. The area of low pressure tracks over West Virginia and the Ohio Valley. It makes its transfer right off the Delmarva, practically over Delaware at this point. You can see here, there's a rain snow line. I'm going to zoom this in so you can see it. There is a rain snow line right over the I-95 corridor. Washington, Baltimore, this is looking to be mainly a rain event for you. But Philadelphia, you do not have to go that far to the northwest to find very heavy snow. Places like State College, Pennsylvania, 6 to 10 inches of snow are now becoming likely for you. Maybe isolated 12-inch amounts into higher elevations of central Pennsylvania. Same thing with the Pocono Mountains. I'm going to advance this again. New York, Hudson Valley, upstate New York, up to maybe about Albany. Again, this is looking like a 6 to 10 inch event for you. Even in Massachusetts, I'm starting to think now this is going to be a 6 to 10 inch event. And this is going to be an event that starts really late on Monday now. This storm has slowed down. It's probably not going to start until Monday night, and in New England, in some cases, it may not start until first thing on Tuesday morning, and this will go through much of the day on Tuesday, not ending until Tuesday night for a place like Boston. Boston, you are seeing snow on this map. I am still concerned this could shift a little bit further north. These Miller B-type systems tend to do that, but you know what? At the moment, right now, if things should hold, this could be a significant event for you as well. If all went well, 4 to 8 inches of snow with isolated 8 plus for you. So here's the breakdown. If you have to travel on Tuesday, it's going to be really difficult in the Northeast. Heavy snows. Snow rates could reach 2 inches per hour at the height of this storm in some places. While this is a fast-moving storm system, like I said, there's enough time, there's enough cold air that places north and west of I-95, this is easily now looking like a 6 to 10 inch event with isolated areas that do see a foot of snow. Let's take a look at the European from last night and see what that shows. And you're going to see this shows a similar outcome here. And actually, the European gets really impressive with this storm as we head into Tuesday. And you can see here, as I advance this, look at this. That is some really heavy snow in extreme northeast Pennsylvania. But once again, you're seeing the rain snow line. Philadelphia, it's right over you. I think if you're going to see any snow in Philadelphia, it's going to be on the back side of the system, probably within the last few hours, because I don't think this is going to be a far enough south for it to be a major snow event. I think it's going to be too far to the north. And you can see as I continue to advance this, it does switch to very heavy snow for portions of Boston. Look at that, right over Cape Cod area. Yes, see this pink? That is 2 inch per hour snowfall rates, and that's something we have to watch. Wherever that sets up, that's where those isolated 12-inch amounts will be. All right, let's take a look at the GEFS, which is the ensemble of the GFS. And you can see here, there is very good agreement with the members now. Strong agreement that this storm is going to track right over Delaware, off of South New Jersey, and then off the coast of Long Island, and this is a perfect track for New England. Let's take a look at precipitation amounts here, because this really gets interesting. And you can see the precipitation amounts on the GEFS. Look at this. There is strong agreement here. This is a mean. There is strong agreement here on up to 1.5 inches of precipitation in some places. Generally, 1 inch for most. Should that happen, the mean is actually showing that there will be widespread 6 to 10 inches of snowfall. That's really impressive for a mean. For places north and west of I-95, central Pennsylvania, portions of New York, just south of Albany. You can see here, it's a pretty big cutoff north of there. And just southern Vermont, southern New Hampshire, the Berkshires of Massachusetts, western and northwest Connecticut. There is pretty strong agreement from the GEFS that this storm system's going to happen. All right, let me advance this further. I want to show you the West Coast. Here we are late next week. You can see here, we're starting to introduce precipitation on the West Coast again. Yes, and for a mean this far out, which is the GFS run many times again, yeah, look at that. That's a lot of precipitation being shown in California. Once we get into next weekend, you have to start concerning yourself about the potential for flooding once again on the West Coast. Let's talk about the long-range temperature on the GEFS, and you will see here, it does get relatively cold. You can see once again, you can see, look at the northern plains. Yeah, as we head into late next week, you can see here, highs, they're only going to be in the teens and single digits, relatively average to slightly below average in the northeast, and in the southeast, yes, look at this, you're not all that cold. However, as I advance it even further here, you can see some colder air does try to come in. So high temperatures in the northeast in the 20s and 30s, that would be slightly below average as we head into the second half of the month, and we'll have to see if that sticks around. I don't think it's going to stick around for a long period of time, but it's something we will have to continue to watch. And take a look at this. Now we are at February 22nd. On the GEFS, down in the south, you can see here, 60s and 70s for the Gulf Coast region. I think that's going to happen. Taking a look at the Climate Prediction Center. So with that being said, it comes out to slightly below average temperatures in a 6 to 10 day period along the East Coast, slightly above average on the West Coast, slightly above average in the Great Lakes region. Then when we take a look at the 6 to 10 day precipitation, well above average in the West Coast. You just saw the GEFS. It's very wet for the West Coast. Slightly below average in the Northeast. Above average down in South Florida. You're going to be dealing with some shower and thunderstorm activity. And take a look at this. 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. It's showing slightly above average for the Great Lakes region. I think that's going to be more, probably closer to normal based off of the 12Z GEFS, and slightly below average along the I-95 corridor of the east and southeast. Again, nothing terribly cold, but just a couple degrees below where it should be for this time of year. 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. It's above average in the Pacific Northwest. And taking a look now at 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook, yes, it's going to be very active once again on the West Coast. So well above average. I'm still in agreement with, same thing with Florida. With that southern jet, you're going to continue to see shower and thunderstorm activity. And at this time, below average for the Northeast, though, one storm system could completely change that outlook. Alrighty, folks, we'll have another update tomorrow on all of the potential for severe weather, and of course this storm system that is going to impact the Northeast and provide significant snows, generally north and west of Southeast Pennsylvania and South Jersey. New York City, I should have mentioned you. You will probably likely see a few inches of snow out of this. Just north of you, that's where the significant snow is going to set up. Alright, if you want to follow me when I'm not doing these videos, you can follow me on Twitter at Climate Data Report. That is Climate Data, capital RPT. That is my Twitter account. Here it is, right here. And of course, I'll have a link to that down below. I will see you guys all again next time. Until I see you again next time, remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you like seeing this content, and of course, share this content. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy the weather wherever you are. Thanks for watching.